Hello, hello, hello. Always taking a second to get situated here. Sorry for the awkward beginning. I'm just gonna wait for the Rose Maven. There she is. You joined. Okay. This is always my thing. You can request. Okay, here we go. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? I'm so excited you guys can hop in and out, can join in, whatever it is. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. This is my first time getting to interview my beautiful friend. Um,
Thank you.
all right, so I'll go ahead and introduce us. I know it's 11 in the morning, right? So people are going to be in and out. We'll post the replay for re-listen because these conversations so far have been so beautiful. You guys are definitely going to want to listen in. So this is Empower Talks. I am your host, Sara Melcher. If you're not familiar with me, I am an empowerment life coach, a speaker, a personal development event curator, and I started the series of Empower Talks to highlight the amazing people in my circle and community and highlight their experiences, their stories, with the goal of it resonating with someone here that's listening, right? And just to highlight the beautiful people that I know. It's just incredible. Like when I started reaching out to people, I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm going into June and July because there's so many amazing people, amazing stories. So I'm really excited to today I get to highlight my beautiful friend Elle Torres, who is also known as the Rose Maven. So I'll give you a moment to go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners.
Thank you so much for having me. I cannot stop smiling. I've been so looking forward to this all week. So, like Sarah said, my name is Elle. I am the founder, the creator, and every hat under the Rose Maven. I've been in business since 2019, and it's been a journey. Really can't wait to share some of these really amazing steps through it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I want to get right into it because, like I said, it's the first time really diving deep with you into this journey. So I know people see your beautiful business. If you guys need to like hop on her Instagram and just look at how beautiful these roses are and how they're displayed and the content, come on, the Instagram, the website, like it's all beautiful, right? But a lot of us on the external, that's what we see. Right? Well, that's what we see. But even with you just saying right now, like I wear all the hats. So tell us a little bit about the story of starting the Rose Maven. Like, how did you even decide to be an entrepreneur and create
Sure.
this business?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. So, when I was working in corporate, I worked for a global bank for 6 years, and I was in my late 20s. And I'm like, I want to be chief of staff by the time I turn 32 or 35. So, that was always a dream of mine. I love, just organizing and just being in corporate was a really good environment for me. Then I noticed that I was just getting like administrative roles and like everything I would apply to, even if it said like office manager, it always morphed into buying supplies, organizing calendars, getting people coffee. And I'm like, you know what? I graduated with a nearly perfect GPA. I have so much experience managing vendors, managing all kinds of people. I'm really tired of getting these like limited glass ceiling roles. So
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from UMass Boston. My sister gave me this gorgeous arrangement of roses, and I really love what they represented. It was like a spark of joy for me. It symbolized my success, and I I spray painted the roses with Krylon with like gold spray paint, and they're still up in a shelf, crusty. If you touch them, they'll turn to dust. Um, but really, that's kind of where the idea came. I'm like, you know what? Flowers celebrate all kinds of milestones, all kinds of success. Like, how do we keep that? And then I ordered these like little foam flowers from Amazon. They were supposed to turn into like a flower wall. And then, you know what? God did what he did. And it turned into me ordering a sample of preserved roses. And I fell in love with them. And so in 2019, it just sort of took off from there. We did a soft launch for Mother's Day. So we're like really celebrating our 5-year anniversary now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, we went through COVID and went through the whole thing. And here we are, still evolving, still developing, still learning and building.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that because it's connected to that bigger purpose, right? And that feeling. I know you talk about that a lot, like the feeling that you want people to have when they receive your roses. And it shows in the effort, the display, everything that you put into those roses. It really shows that you want it to be an
For sure.
experience. And I think that that's really important.
For sure.
So going through the pandemic, I think that's like when we got connected, right? I feel like it's been a
Yeah.
few years connecting like over Instagram and falling in love. Falling in love.
I
Um,
do.
right? So what are some, I guess, I don't know if we want to let's dive into the obstacles first and then we'll dive into the lessons.
Of
So what
course.
are some maybe obstacles that you've experienced, like starting from scratch to where you are now?
Oh, for sure. So obviously, just starting not knowing. I
Mhm.
think we've talked about this. Like, I've seen it as a recurring topic of start scared, start unprepared, start imperfect. I kind of just went for it. I invested a lot of money. So there was,
Mhm.
part of the obstacles was not knowing where to invest, who was trustworthy, who shared the vision of the Rose Maven. I mean, in 2000, I operated on a business loss for 3 years. So when I'm reporting my earnings on taxes, there are no earnings.
Right.
All of it reported was a loss, right? And I don't want to get too much into this because we'll go into financial advice or planning, which I'm not a
Hmm.
financial planner, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that as you're reporting all of your expenses, all of your operating costs into your personal taxes, that lowers your chances of being a desirable candidate for loans for
Mhm.
a lot of different things that you need, especially capital for your business. So a lot of the obstacles have been not being able to scale to the level that I want because I'm paying for everything out of pocket. Like literally my best days are Mother's Day, Valentine's, and we'll make a couple thousand a day, but those are just 2 days a year,
Right.
right? And that money goes right back into buying more flowers, paying the taxes, going into sales, like paying the subscriptions, all of it. So,
Yep.
a part of the obstacle is really being able to scale and grow and also being recognized as a woman-owned business. I have shared, the people that have followed me for a while have seen the ugly side of a business because I am not afraid of really taking back the curtain and showing people what it takes.
Yep.
Like trying to get certified as a woman-owned business for the federal government. Oh my gosh, it's been 2.5 years and we're still waiting. So
Hmm.
there's
Yep.
a lot of different obstacles, but I think the most important part of that is just knowing your vision, knowing your purpose.
Mhm.
I promised myself I was not going to give this up 5 years ago, and here we are. We're still going.
Right. Exactly. Knowing that those things they take longer, right? It takes longer because you're not able to get the capital yet, but that doesn't mean you
Right.
quit, right? Because like we said already, you're staying connected to that purpose, that experience, that feeling, and that really does have to like run strong through
Oof.
you. It's similar for me with Empower. Like that brand means so much to me that I would never let it go. Even though like I have issues, people trying to tell me I can't use my logo. I'm like, oh no, I'm using Empower, period. Period. Like
Yes.
that, like it's written that way for a reason, you know what I mean? Because it means so much to me and it's so valuable to me. And I think people what is there's a saying, it says entrepreneurship is, oh gosh, I'm not gonna remember the exact words, but for something along the lines of staying on the path or staying true to it, just like without losing enthusiasm, right?
Mhm.
And yes, like we get down, we have our ups and downs of the journey, but connected to that bigger purpose is I think what keeps us going for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people
Absolutely.
don't understand the product-based business.
Woo! Oh my
it's
goodness. Yes, especially
it's something
when it's a
else.
luxury product. Like I
Right.
fully recognize that my flowers are not something that people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I need that right now.
Yeah.
I've been to pop-up shops. Sarah has been gracious enough to host me. Remember 2 years ago,
Yeah.
we did that event, and I fully recognize when I go in there, I'm like, this is gonna be just an impression that I'm going to set because luxury products, they come with a price tag and not everybody is willing to invest or, maybe not right now, maybe later. So that's another, I wouldn't call it an obstacle. I just call it like as a recognition of
Yeah.
what I'm doing in business. Like I might not get a client today, but 5 months from now or during a special occasion, they're like, let me hit up Elle because
Yeah.
she's got it.
Yeah. And they know it's going to be fire. It looks amazing. Right?
Thank you.
So what are some, we kind of talked about this, but what are some lessons that you have really feel like you've learned in the last few years? Maybe like after going through all that, those obstacles of the beginning, like what are some things that you've learned now as an experienced entrepreneur that you would want to share with someone that's maybe thinking about starting
Yeah,
a brand or product?
I love that question. Thank you for asking that. I have learned that, I don't want to get into this next question that's coming. So, I've learned that it's really important to just know your purpose and know why you're doing it, right? Because I'm a business consultant as well, and I work with
Mm-hmm.
other small business owners all throughout the United States with my
Yeah.
full-time job. But some people just like, well, I want to do it so I can make money, and that's
Mm-hmm.
great, but there still has to be a bigger purpose, another connection, another reason why you're an entrepreneur, whether that is to be financially independent, whether that is to prove your family wrong, prove your
Yeah.
friends wrong, or to just make a name for yourself. That's fine, but it comes with a lot of hard work, right? And we can't give up when things get hard. We can't
Mm-hmm.
throw in the towel just because we can't do something.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the lesson, where it's like you mentioned, Sarah, it's been a journey, right? Things get tough, but what I've learned is that like we can't give up through those moments. And we need our people. We need a circle. We need accountability buddies. We need people who are checking in on us and be like, "Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Do you need anything?" Even if, like, do you need prayer? We all need prayer. So
And yep.
anything like that, just having like the purpose of why you're doing it, and also having community, which I'm very excited to talk about
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get into community. But also, oh my God, I just lost what I was about to, you just said something that really
Like people checking in and knowing what you need, or like just knowing your purpose.
knowing your purpose, but I lost it. If it comes back,
Oh,
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so the community, like the having that circle of people. So we just went to the Babes in Business Boston
I
event,
love
which
them.
was so beautiful. Like I think there was there like over 100 women in that room? I can't
Oh my
remember.
gosh,
But
way more. Yeah, it was a
yeah,
ton.
it was so beautiful. Like, and when you walked into that room, so it was my first time going, and I knew that you had gone before, so it was like, okay, um, I believe in it. I believe in it,
Yeah.
right? Because, like you said earlier in the conversation, like learning, figuring out who you can trust on this journey is also a whole nother
Oh yeah.
conversation. Because that has happened many times in my journey. Like, oh, okay, all right, I have to keep my distance there. So for my own journey, I actually like stepped away from events for a little bit, and I'm an event curator.
Hmm.
I stepped away from going to events and hosting events because I was getting kind of like what's the word? I don't want to say like yeah, I kind of went into my shell. Let's just say it. I went into my shell trying to protect myself, like kind of avoiding it. And then I went through like some deep healing on my own, and I was like, you know what, we're ready to go back out. And it, like you said, it is such a game changer just to
Hmm.
be surrounded by other successful women or women that are working on something or launching something. Because let's talk about how much courage it takes, okay, to have an idea, even share it with people, right? And then bring it to life. And then that journey of staying connected for 5 years, staying there, committed to the business, selling the products, talking about the product, promoting the product, right? I know people that won't even take a like selfie or won't even post a picture on Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about the courage that it takes to do that,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
then and then also like be excited and elevated in a room of other women, right? Because if we're not in the right mindset, we could be jealous or
Oh
compare.
gosh. Yeah. I will preface by saying that it's hard to make friends as an adult. It's hard to really put ourselves out there as women.
Mhm.
And I think obviously COVID changed a lot of how we interact. And I think it really it coddled a lot of people that like to be, to themselves. And
Mhm.
second of all, I want to shout out DJ Valentina Marinetti
Yeah.
because she's amazing for putting that whole community together. She changed the way that I think. And those Babes in Business Boston events are fantastic. There's another one coming up. They haven't shared the date. So I want to plug them because everybody should be part of that.
Mhm.
And it took a leap of faith for me as well, right? I think that I because I have limited resources, kind of like what I talked about before. Like right now, I'll be honest, like there's about $200 in the Rose Maven bank account right now because I
Mhm.
invested in flowers and materials, getting ready
Yeah.
for Mother's Day. So when I looked at the ticket sales, right, usually there's a lot of things I want to go to, but I'll look at other events and it's like $300 a ticket or
Yeah.
250. And I fully understand there are costs involved with putting those elaborate things together. But first of all, that was an affordable option for me. I'm like, you know what? 2024, one of my personal goals as a woman, as Elle Torres, was get out there, make
Yeah.
community, and be out there with like-minded people, women who are in business. So that was first of all, one of my personal goals. So that came up, and I'm like, let me just see. And I went alone. I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't have anybody to go with me. I should have invited you, Sarah. Now that I think about it, like I should have hit you up. But I went there and I spent the whole thing. But it took courage for me to like just go up to people. Hi, I'm Elle. It's nice to meet you. Or I love giving people compliments too. Like I feel like I have a purpose of uplifting people and just
You
making
do.
them feel good. So
You
I'll walk up to anyone and I'll usually compliment the nails because I love the nails, even though mine aren't done right now. But I'll compliment people and be like, "Oh my gosh, your work is amazing!" Or I've seen you on Instagram.
do.
I went right up to Valentina. I was like, "Oh, are you the organizer? Are you the creator?" And I just went up to her and
Mhm.
just introduce myself, and just that's how you start to really
Yes.
make yourself known,
Yeah.
acknowledge others, right? Because there's a give and take there. You acknowledge other people and then you introduce
Yeah.
yourself and you talk about what you do. And so we went to the first one. I came home so energized, and so when the second one was announced, I was like,
You
yes,
were ready.
I'm there.
You were
And I
ready.
saw you and I was so happy. I was like, Sara, let me introduce you to everybody here that I
Yeah.
know. And the feeling of like, so we had gone to the first one in February. The second one was in April, but the second one was so different because I already knew people. So I went by myself again for the
Mm.
second one. But like now I can walk in the room and say hello to so
Yes.
many different people that I've been connected with,
Yeah.
and supporting businesses like we're getting married June 1st. It's coming up really really quick,
Yeah.
and one of
So
the
exciting.
one of the main things I'm like, I want to support women-owned businesses. So from that community, like we've
Mm.
got people that I met there that I'm
Yeah.
like, I need you to come by and like do the furniture. Shout out Des
Yeah.
Collective. We have a booth. We like literally almost mm, 7 or 8 people that I met at Babes in Business. I'm like, I
Wow.
want to support them. Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
amazing. And that's gonna always come back to you tenfold, right? And so yes, there's the networking of the business, but just you as a woman. So I'm just gonna highlight you for a minute. You as a woman, like you literally walked in the room and you are a light. You are literally a light moving through the room. And like I'm sure the other women, if they watch this, they're gonna agree with that. Like you just feel that. And I think it's really important for the women that are gonna listen to this to understand that we can just love on each other, right? Just love on each other. There's so much that goes on outside of business, right? And life and family relationships. Like I know you've had a journey. I'm so excited about to marry your king, but I know there's been a journey to getting there, right? And
And
I'm
look
on
who
my
joined,
journey.
Juliana. Hey, Des
What's up,
Collective.
babe? Yes. So like we talk about it a lot, like just in general, like how much women carry, how much we do, how
Yeah.
much we, people depend on us for, right? So when it comes to, like I said, having the courage to like put all your shit behind you, start something that you really believe in and stay consistent, stay connected, stay devoted, stay committed to it. Like, why can't we just like love on each other and support each other and recognize each other? So
Mm-hmm.
I've always valued that from you and loved that from you. So I just
Thank
want to,
you.
give you those flowers. Look at Juliana actually has flowers in
Oh,
the comments. Flowers.
I love her so much. I'm so excited.
Flowers for you.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, honestly, the community, and Juliana actually said it herself in the first Based in Business event. She said, "You need a circle. You need a crew. You need people who are going to be clapping for you, holding you accountable." And when I heard that,
mm,
I was like, wow, like first of all, I'm happy to be here,
mm,
but second of all, like we talked a little bit about how COVID really kind of like everybody was in, events were canceled, everything. And I feel like people were just like, great, now I get to be in my bubble. And I just posted yesterday something where like, it's okay to be an introvert, but in business, it's not going to get you anywhere because you're not sharing your business. You're not sharing your story. You're not connecting. You're not building. You're not encouraging others. You're not getting encouragement. You're not exchanging ideas. Like,
Yep.
and I think, Sara, you mentioned like as women, we want to do it all, and we can,
We
first of
can.
all. Yes, we can. In really nice shoes, we can do it all. But part of it, and you talk about, a lot of energy and feminine and just this being in our like divine energy a lot. We need that as women. We need, to be able to lean on, first of all, our significant others, our husbands, our boyfriends, whatever, but as women, like, because we know what we need. And I think that having a group of people, a community that can really support us, it's different. Like, it hits different because again, when we went to the second Babes in Business, and I was like, Sara, come here, let me introduce you, and just having the power of being like, I already know this person, so let me talk about your strengths, let me talk about how amazing you are as an empowerment coach, let me talk about Mia and her amazing photography, let me talk about Juliana and her like gorgeous furniture. It's just all about like just supporting people, plugging them in, but like people value that in you, they value how you see their value. You know what I mean? It's like a good cycle.
Yeah. To be seen, to be accepted. Those are just beautiful human needs, right? And also the power of belonging. We talk about this a lot at work. You guys know I'm a manager, but I'm like belonging like in all areas of life, right? Even like with your family, like a lot of us feel like the black sheep because we're doing something different, but like we want to feel that sense of belonging. And that definitely, like, even if you do have an amazing partner, like my partner is amazing, but
you don't want to hear
like,
it all the time.
I'm like, my man is the shit. I'm sorry, I can't relate, but that we still need that the feminine community, right? We still need the woman, like, in order to be fulfilled, we still need that powerful connection with other women that we can go to and be like, listen, girl, like, this is what's going on, or I gotta do this, I got this going on, or how can I expand this in my business? Like, sometimes you do want that from a female community. So I think that's really important.
And
It's so beautiful.
even as simple as like, hey, let's grab a brunch, let's grab a drink, grab a coffee.
Just
Like, it
laugh.
doesn't, talk about your ideas, like really get a lot of information lives in our heads. Like, we have, I mean, I know, Sara, you're super creative. I know you have so much going on. And sometimes even talking about it and downloading that information and just, everyone's connected, especially in this community. Like, now having the Babes in Business, like, I know someone in everything. So it's like, hey, have you reached out to this person? Have you considered that? Like, did you go to this event? It's just so empowering. I think, empowering is the perfect word because we as women can come together and, hey, listen, we're doing a lot. We're doing really amazing things. So shout out to women in general.
Shout out to women.
We
Shit. I love it.
are.
Love
We
it.
really
Love
are.
it. Oh man, so many things there. The consistency, the discipline that it takes. We said the community, the realness. Thank you for being so transparent and so real. Because I think that people, like you said something earlier about people want to start a business for money, and I'm like, yo, when was the last time like I made like a lot of money? You know what I'm saying? Like, when was, I mean, like, we're gonna get there, right? Because we're consistent and we're committed. But like, there's so much, like, my man's a banker, so he'd be like, what's your customer acquisition? And I'd be like, oh God, here we go. Like, how much does it cost? Like, you're saying you made this much, but how much did you spend to get there? And I'm like, all right, cool. So we have $5. We have $5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm being sarcastic, but like, seriously, like, it, like, you can't start a business like with the sole want of making money unless it's something like, I don't even know, do you have an idea of something
Well,
that you can
no,
make just money
and
right
I
away?
think so. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge. Yes, Valentina has created a space of confidence, power, and diverse community. We shouted her out earlier. I really want her to see this. But just to go back on what you were saying, I think that making money is great, but we tie it right back to the bigger purpose. And social media has changed a lot of people's mentality where like everyone thinks that things happen overnight. They don't see our late nights. They don't see the like when we're stuck. They don't the tears, girl, because I have been like, you know what? Like during COVID, I remember when everything shut down, I'm looking at all my inventory and I'm like, whoa, what am I gonna do with this? Right? And look, let me show you these little boxes that I have right here, which I got a client that actually I've had these since 2019. And I'm like, we transitioned away from the cardboard. We transitioned away from like the, you know, the lower tier materials. But when we have people with like different budgets, we're gonna make it work. So like I'm not afraid to be like, I have had materials since when I first started. And it's taking me 5 years to sell them. Like I started off with the round boxes and I just shouted it out like 3 months ago. Like it took me 5 years to sell 25 round boxes. I'm not afraid of sharing that because that is encouraging to someone else. Like you have to continue. You have to keep that. You have to keep going. You know, you can't just give up because it didn't happen overnight. And I think that's a big lesson that a lot of people should really, you know, recognize. If you're in it, you have to be prepared for those hard nights, for those early mornings, or those like, you know, one of the things that I really ask myself, which we talked about earlier about investing, is like what I want to save, time or money. When I'm in my mode that I want to save money, I'm going to spend a lot of time learning, a lot of time developing, a lot of time fixing what I need to fix. And sometimes it may not even go right. If I want to save the time, I know that I have to put in a big investment to get things done. So it's like my little personal motto all the time, save time or save money.
I love that. That's good. I hope people hear that one. That's really good. Thank you so much. This was so beautiful. You have so much wisdom, even just over the 5 years. So I can't wait to just sit and watch you expand and evolve over the next few years. Make sure you guys follow the Rose Maven. Make sure you guys order your flowers because they are freaking beautiful. And if you listen to this, then you know the purpose, the meaning, and the commitment, right? And I think that's like, I always choose small business as well, like when I want to order something or get a gift for someone, because I know the work that goes into it. And to me, that's very special and very important. So I hope you guys see the value in that as well. Any last words, Elle, for the listener
You know,
related to
just
life, love, business,
life.
whatever you got?
I love it all. There's a lot I could say, but I want to piggyback on what you just said now. Like small businesses put so much more love into. I know it's cool to buy the Fenty and the Kylie Cosmetics and all of that, but these celebrities have teams of people that like do it all for them. Small business owners are putting in their actual hands into what you're doing. Like when I create these flowers, like listen, I will pluck a petal if it doesn't look good. I'll it's just so there's so much detail and love and commitment. Like you said, I love the word commitment because that's what it's been here for the Rose Maven. And so you know what, supporting a small business is supporting someone's dream, someone's livelihood, putting food on their table or helping them get to the next level. So definitely make sure to support your women-owned and small businesses as well. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for that.
I love it. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for hopping in and listening. Thank you, Elle, the Rose Maven. We'll make sure to save and share so you guys can hear some of her nuggets. Yes. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the day.
You too, my love. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.